I'm honored to introduce our first speaker of the night. Not only does he embody the idea of creating positive change in our city, he's also a fellow Howard Bison. HU. Mayor Baraka is our city's 40th mayor, and since taking office, he has worked tirelessly to revitalize Newark. He has been recognized nationally for his commitment to reducing crime in Newark, reimagining public safety, tackling the city's housing crisis, and developing innovative and community-driven approaches to eliminating income inequality. He's also welcomed many new businesses to Newark, increased broadband and Wi-Fi access, and lowered unemployment in our city. Thank you, Mayor Baraka, for all you've done for our Newark community. We're delighted to welcome you to our Be the Change celebration.
Thank you, Bernice. HU to you, too. So first, I want to obviously thank Mani Sadeghi, chairman of the board here, KIPP. I want to thank Ryan Hill, I seen him over there somewhere, for all the hell that I gave you. And appreciate the fact that we still are doing things collectively and together. Want to thank all of the young people that are here today. Also give a shout out to Mo Butler, who is the honoree this evening, who I would consider a friend, but also is responsible behind the scenes for many of the bridges that have been crossed in this city to get us to this day. So he deserves a lot of credit, and honoring him is the right thing to do tonight. I'd also like to thank Veronica Avery. Well, I know when she was just a teacher for many, many, many years, and thank you for making sure that this evening happened, for inviting me here, part of the event Be the Change, because I don't know if I would be here if you wasn't there, Veronica. So I appreciate that, and probably something that should have happened a long time ago, you know, but everything happens in season. And I appreciate the opportunity, of course, because I haven't spoken in 5 years, right here, I got a lot to say. So, you know, I appreciate this opportunity. I appreciate the KIPP network, the staff, the teachers, the students, the friends, family, and especially the KIPP Forward team for staying with our children to help them navigate life after college. Because that's where the real difficulties begin, and many people talk about what they did up to the 12th grade, and you guys go beyond that, so that's awesome. And I appreciate the idea, the use of the word forward, as that is the direction all of us should be headed in. We say in Newark, forward ever, backwards never. I also want to take this time to thank KIPP in general for your work here in Newark with our families, with our children, for helping us forge our students ahead and helping us beat the odds here in our city, odds that have been institutionalized and stacked against our families for decades. I appreciate the desire that you have to face those entrenched narratives and often intractable barriers, sometimes that we create ourselves. I'm grateful for your willfulness to struggle with us and to struggle with me, to help our children see themselves as beautiful, as incredible, as successful. Because all growth begins with empowerment, and the only way our children or any child can actualize success is if they see that as possible. When they look in the mirror, they have to see something amazing, something beautiful on purpose. I was born and raised in the city of Newark. I went to public school here, Madison Avenue, 6 blocks from my house. That's why I was always late. Then after that, I went to Clinton Place Junior High School that turned into University High when I got to the 7th grade. I actually graduated from there and eventually went on to Howard University, where I discovered my voice, embraced my poetry, and found my pathway. This was only possible because of my education here in Newark, but also because I had an incredible guidance counselor, and I grew up in a household a little different than most of my friends, where international artists and activists, poets and musicians were always in and around my home that shaped how I experienced the world. My parents were activists and organizers. My father, an intellectual, a thinker. Books were all over my house, even in the bathroom, everywhere, which is where I got my love of reading and studying and was chiefly responsible for how I viewed the world and my role in it. It was life-saving, actually, in so many ways. When I was on my way to college, one of my best friends was on his way to Annandale Youth Correctional Facility. Prison for most of us who don't know what that is. Newark is like most cities with demographics like ours. Shout out to Mayor Kastarfin, who's here from Camden. Bless you, brother, and the work that you're doing down there. Where the demographic is similar to ours, where the tax base was eroded and school funding became deeply inadequate, and the city became grossly segregated by race and class, undermined by poverty and indifference, where red lines were drawn around them deliberately to discourage investment in housing and health care, which includes child care from birth onward, which is why our mothers are 7 times more likely to die giving birth, and our children are almost 4 times as likely to die before age 1. And we can't leave out the poor access to quality food. In fact, because of these social determinants, a child growing up in Newark's life expectancy is 14 years shorter than a child growing up just 8 miles away in Livingston. All of this impacts why and how we must educate our children. This, what I described, was a result of purposeful policy and practice, which means that our remedy must be as purposeful with intent and direction, because this work that you have committed yourself to, that you're celebrating today, is not just about jobs and social status. This is life-saving work. I was an educator here in this city for 20 years or more, started as a substitute teacher with Lee jeans and Timberlands, and became a principal in some of the most difficult environments that the city had to offer. The history of the school district here is long and tumultuous. 2 teacher strikes, a fight for control over the school board, and representation at a time when the city was changing political hands, a state takeover for 20 years soon after, fight over school funding and curriculum. This is why there are deep trust issues in our city, because while some people are fighting for position, contracts, titles, relevancy, money, resource, power, our families have been literally fighting for their lives for decades. But in all of that, I am extremely confident, because here we are today, Mayor Baraka speaking at the KIPP Be the Change Gala in 2024. Besides, I don't have the luxury of pessimism. I must see the place I think we can get to in order to take us there. And I know there are great and brilliant people in this room and outside of this room whose motivation is only winning. And winning to them is tied up in the victory of our children and their families. And so we have to be the change we speak of tonight. I know some of us see that change in a very myopic and limited sense, because even though we have been successful academically, we are comfortable with the world as it is. And I don't want to produce children that beat the odds. I want to produce children that remove those odds. It's not enough for us to be barricaded into this competition of graduation rates and test scores, or the bigotry that suggests that this is the best we can do given the circumstances. We can't be filed into this march against one another, where our principal competition is each other's schools or how they are arranged and the small amount of resources they give us to fight over. Our competition has always been poverty and homelessness, inequity and poor health care. Our chief adversary is a system that cannot protect diversity in higher ed, that cannot clear a discernible pathway for me to further my education beyond the fundamental, that watches books be banned and authors blacklisted because they speak from a different perspective, a system that can't protect my vote or stop me from being lynched, or a system that produces hate and erases history, children that shoot their peers at 15, and others that grow up to pass laws that justify exclusion and deepen inequity. These are our enemies, not each other. James Baldwin said, education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world. But he also went on to say in his talk to teachers that the very paradox of education is that as one begins to be educated or become conscious, woke, one begins to examine the society in which he is being educated and begin to look at himself in that world. And it's at that very instance that the light comes on. And depending on where you sit in the hierarchy of things, either you agree with this arrangement, this view of the world, and you work to perpetuate it, or you see the limitations of it and its backwardness and you become the change necessary to imagine something different. On the other end, you actually view yourself through the eyes of people who despise you, or you begin to view the world with you actually in it and become that change that's necessary that couldn't imagine a world that did not include you. I used to love Tower Records. I don't know if you guys are old enough in this room to know about Tower Records. I used to spend hours at the one in Lincoln Center. Go there, put on the headphones. It made me think I was traveling far away from the pool hall on 11th Street in Avon. I would go there and listen to Nina Simone for hours and Curtis Mayfield, a little bit of Rakim and Lord Finesse, run up there and check EPMD newest tracks, You Gots to Chill. Those places are all gone, all of them, they're finished. They don't exist anymore. Our children have no idea about Tower Records at all. CD players, mixtapes, we had to borrow from each other or dub to get new music that we couldn't afford to buy. Which even got worse when I went to college. I had to tape Stretch and Bobbito on the radio and take it to DC and let my friends get a taste of New York City hip hop, or Tony Humphries playing club music on the radio for my Chicago and Detroit friends. That entire industry was disrupted by brilliant and creative kids in their basements, creating Napster, then streaming platforms from Spotify to Tidal. Now the way we consume music is entirely different. The way we listen to it, purchase it, and distribute it. It's also moved into movies and now has even changed how movies are actually made. So Lionsgate is building studios in Newark to produce movies that can be streamed on platforms like Netflix and Prime. These are the children we need to produce. And this is the change we need to become, a disruptive change with generational impacts, one that exceeds our limitations and goes beyond what history has provided for us and the boxes politicians place us in. The ones that are elected and the ones that influence them. We have to reach bigger than the way people view us and dig into our radical imagination and find something bigger and better than what exists already. And we have to make our children be prepared to do that. Days ago, we welcomed Hacks to our city, a hard tech incubator. I got a chance to get a tour. I saw young people from all over the country and the world that chose Newark as their backyard to build a new blueprint for the future of this country and the world. They were creating ways to harness new alternative energy, finding cleaner and more abundant ways to extract lithium, revolutionize the textile industry to challenge supply chain issues and get resources to more people quicker. This is where we must be, a Hacks for Newark. A Hacks for Newark students with zip codes meant to limit them, that flips that on its head and creates students that design bridges and build them at the same time, that discovers cures as well as administer them, that develops new sources of energy and make them abundant, that increases wealth while eliminating homelessness, that challenges the wealth gap and delivers equity, that disrupts exclusionary policies and turns scarcity on its head. Young people that disrupt poverty and deliver affordable health care to all of our communities, that build housing with new models and new ideas that preserve the environment while making them affordable. We don't want to educate children just to do well at avoiding pitfalls and navigating hardship. We want them to remove pitfalls and remove hardship. We don't want children that can just excel on state exams. We don't want them to predict our future. We want them to predict our future by rewriting it, not efficiently making it through deliberate and systemic barriers, but to build a world where barriers do not exist. We don't want them to perpetuate a cycle that their own children and children's children would have to endure, a long, winding, and dangerous road waiting on good Samaritans or places and people that are kind enough to shelter them. We want them to find comfort in their own brilliance, a map in their God-given creativity, and build a world that includes them and is better for it. So first, we have to begin to get them to look at themselves differently. Because when you begin to change the way you look at things, the things you look at begin to change. Let us be the change we want to see in our young people and the change we want to see in this world. Let us start that this evening with all of these young people. It is not enough to award them and praise them because they did better than their peers on the state test that limits them all. What we want them to do is build buildings that all of us can go in and be useful to all of our families. We need that for our children today no matter where they're from, their background, the language, what street they live on, the zip code they're a part of, or the school their mama choose to put them in. I say we have to do this because we have no choice. So in that effort, I'm here to join you. And I appreciate you inviting me here to this gala because I like to be the change. So Godspeed to all of you. Godspeed to the KIPP family. Godspeed to KIPP Forward. I wish you guys much success. I pray that you have another 5 years, and don't take another 5 years to invite me to this damn thing. God bless y'all. Take care. Almost forgot my assignment. I want to bring on Councilwoman Reverend Roundtree, Louis Scott Roundtree. She has some proclamations to give out.
Oh, y'all can clap. It's all right. Now, you have to clap for me, but I'm going to listen. Come on, y'all got to really do something great. To my honorable mayor, who I love to hear him speak on Emily. He knows how to speak to. Give him another hand. That ain't a real hand. Give him a real hand. Clap like you'd want somebody to clap for you. Oh, y'all can't do no better than that? All right, that's good. Thanks. It is such an honor to stand here tonight. I don't know why they call me first, because Veronica is so amazing. Can you give Veronica a hand as well? Get your Zumba on with me, because I'm going to make you clap and stand in a minute. Carolyn Clark.
Stand. Please stand.
I have two people that I have to honor on behalf of the city. That's what they gave me first. Okay. He my boss, his name on my check, but I got something else in my hand. I don't care what y'all say about being elected. I was appointed first, then elected, and his name is on my check. Amen. Okay, let's go. I have, it's called respect. Yeah. Look, Mo know how I rock and roll. You know, I rock and roll with order, and this is the order. There's a young lady here that deserves to be honored on behalf of the city of Newark and for her name to go down in history. KIPP has made its mark in New Jersey, and I call her a young lady because everybody young, Reverend Ron Christian told me, is not without wisdom, and every elder surely shows folk the way. And so we are honored today to stand and honor. Y'all gonna stand again, but we're going to honor our own beautiful Carolyn Clark from KIPP, New Jersey. Grandma, come on, Carolyn, where are you? Where are you, beautiful? Ah, there she go. Y'all come on and give her a hand. Y'all can sit down after, but come on, beautiful. Come on, how are you? Listen. Okay, I'm going to give this to you, and it reads, we, the members of the Newark Municipal Council, wish to commend you as you're being honored during the KIPP New Jersey Be the Change Gala being held here Thursday, May 9th, 2024. The governing body extends a sincere congratulations, and of course, the beautiful and brilliant LaMonica R. McIver, our council president of the Central Ward, is the first signature on it, along with Patrick Orlando Council, South Ward Councilman C. Lawrence Crump at large, Carlos A. Gonzalez at large, Dupre Kelly West Ward, Louis A. Quintana at large, Aníbal Ramos North Ward, yours truly, Reverend Louis Scott Roundtree at large, Michael J. Silva, to be presented to you to go down in the history of the city of Newark as long as there's a Newark, New Jersey in existence. I'm gonna just hand this to you. That's your mayor's official. You got to hear him speak, but now you can take something home with his name on it and his signature. Thank you. Now, you're going to come back. God bless you. Come on, give her a hand, please. Now, this young man I worked with, y'all can sit down, sit down, sit down. So, Mayor, and this is a true story. When Mr. Butler came to City Hall, this is what Mr. Butler said when he came to be the chief of staff. He said, if I'm here more than 3 months, something truly went wrong. And he ended up being there how long, Mr. Butler? Come on up, Mr. Butler. Mr. Modia Butler. Come on, y'all can do better than that. I know y'all want to eat. You know, it's his day there. Come on. Come on, I get to honor you on behalf of the council, along with the mayor's official letter. And I'm not going to read all of this. Partner Mercury Public Affairs. The mayor says, thank God there is a God. I'm getting ready to sit down and be quiet. But on behalf of, y'all can laugh, it's funny, it's all right. I said it about me. Listen, it is such an honor to be able to stand before a man who I used to sit behind the desk, and he said they made a big mistake leaving me behind the desk. They should have put me in the community. Well, he did it, so
I know.
he got
He's a wise man, very wise man.
But come on, let's clap for this man. Newark now, Cory Booker,
Thank you.
Mayor Baraka, City of Newark. God bless you.